Good morning, everyone. Mike and Corey here today. Three exciting topics. Quantum computing. We're going to explain it all in the next 10 hours. I'm just kidding. We'll explain what little piece that we know. Then a funny headquarter move that I think will force a company name change. How could that be? And then Corey's going to talk about the S&P 500, what has performed well this year, and like, could you have even imagined these stocks being the top performers in the S&P 500 year to date? Because today's February 19th. So before we get started, this is a financial education presentation. You must do your own due diligence on anything you hear in this presentation. More disclaimer information can be found on ankerstarwealth.com, and the opinions expressed are mine and Corey's alone. So each day, at least, I don't know, 6 or 7 days in a row now, I've tried to cover one of our exponential growth opportunity stocks. Today, I'm going to talk about Rigetti Computing. And what they do is quantum computing. So if you know what quantum computing is, if you already are an expert on this subject, you know, you're already light years ahead of the rest of us. And you wouldn't be looking up these articles like I am to really understand it, or at least to grasp it. So, you know, it is quantum computing is the cutting edge of computer science. And what I describe this to our team is this is a solution looking for a problem. Now, why in the world would you invest in a solution looking for a problem? Usually there's plenty of problems out there, and you know, companies figure out ways to solve them. This one doesn't have the problem yet. And you know, as I read through quantum computing a little bit, there's things that, you know, as far as computing, there's zeros and ones. That's all a computer knows is, you know, bits and bytes, zeros and ones. It just knows whether these switches are on and off. And I go back flashbacks to my computer science days at Ohio State. Things that I don't want to think about anymore. Quantum computing takes it to another level. And so instead of having zeros and ones, there's ranges and there's things like that. And I can't explain them all, but I did pull this up. Let me see if I can go back to my Wikipedia, or not Wikipedia, my AI. It covered it, and it calls these qubits. So instead of having bits being 0 or 1, these qubits can have multiple states across, which allows the computer to be much, much more powerful, to solve mathematics even quicker than it does now. And there's things called entanglement and all this other stuff. So why would we be interested in this? And I'm going to take you to Rigetti's website. You can see, and you know, you can go to rigetti.com, and you know, RIGETTI, and you can, you know, kind of see about what they're developing. And you know, it's kind of like, why would we invest in this? Is this the kind of company I want to own? Right now, it is, you know, cutting edge, but there's the problem's not out there yet. It's planning for the future. This is the kind of company that one, it could go bankrupt. I mean, it could go out of business. There's like 2 of these companies I found that really, maybe a few more, but this is the one we selected. I'll be honest, for an ego stock, this company could go bankrupt, but it also could go up 100 times higher in value. So that is what we're looking to invest in, is that possibility that this really takes off and gets implemented across. This is almost like trying to buy NVIDIA 25 years ago when Jensen Huang was putting together processors in his garage. You didn't know. And obviously hindsight, well, yeah, that was a great buy. Not many people would have bought it back then. So what's the stock done? Take a look at Rigetti. This is a 6-month chart. So you can see this thing was trading extremely low, like $1 a share. And you're like, wow, I wish I'd have bought it at $1 a share, because now it's at $10. And at one point, it was even up to 20. So we're adding this to our ego stocks. Let me see, I'm going to go 5 years. You can see at one point it was higher. So, you know, as far as looking at a chart, you'd say, you know, this is like kind of like not very exciting. But you can see lately, since July of last year, this is when this started to get some traction in the last 5 years, we'll say. So We have added this. This is probably, I would say, of the, it's a $2.5 billion company, so it's not our smallest ego stock. This to me is our highest risk ego stock. So if I say, which one do I think has the highest risk, and obviously highest risk, I'm not going to buy highest risk unless it has the highest reward. So that's why it's in our portfolios, a teeny tiny piece of aggressive portfolios. This is absolutely nothing I would like take all my money in the bank and put it into this. And I've heard of people doing that with like Tesla stock or something like that. No, don't ever do that. Never. I can't think of one reason you would ever want to do that unless you're just gambling. So we took a position in this, so that Rigetti Computing, one of our ego stocks. Corey, what do you know about quantum computing? Anything?
Yeah, no. Nothing, nothing that's going to drive that conversation in a meaningful way. No.
I should search. There's probably some good videos out there on YouTube on quantum computing. Just to kind of,
IBM has a quantum computing campus with a quantum computer that, their flagship quantum computer.
Mhm.
And that's all that takes place at that campus. And there's a really good information put out from IBM, or videos that IBM's put out.
Yeah. So, and guess what? I like computer science. I took a lot of computer science in my undergrad. In another life, I would have just been a programmer because it's a phenomenal field to be in. But with AI coming on since ChatGPT, it's changed the software engineer's job. They're much more empowered, which means you maybe don't need as many of them, which that has different repercussions. Quantum computing is one of those things that we don't know where this is going to be in 20 years. This stock, this could be this could be the next NVIDIA, could be in the SP500, could be one of the largest companies, and it also could be bankrupt. So I'm just being
Mike, I will add on to this. So in the quantum computing space, Google had a breakthrough last year in quantum computing that really solidified the fact that quantum computing is going to become a reality.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some certainty around that. Google is also a core holding. So between Google and then an ego stock in the space, we have proof of concept around quantum computing, and we have because of these holdings, you have proof of exposure to the space, right? So
yeah.
So you're covering those bases.
So Google gives you a broad exposure to, obviously Google does lots of different things, from search engines to, a little piece of quantum computing. This is more of a pure play in quantum computing. So, I would say if you hold this, which I do hold this in my portfolio, the thing moves all over the place. This is one of those ones that it's up 10%, down 10%, on really no news. Someday, of course, I hope it's up. We see it's up 250% before it goes down 100. So, anyways, that's quantum computing. We don't know much about it. It's the future. But one thing that I do know about from the past, and my dad actually met the colonel, is KFC. Kentucky Fried Chicken. They call it KFC now because they don't want to say the word fried, because fried's an unhealthy word. I didn't look through the whole article to see if they mentioned fried somewhere in here. But KFC is moving their headquarters from Kentucky to Texas. This just seems wrong to me. When I saw this article, I was like, say it isn't so. I love Texas.
All roads lead to Texas, Mike. All roads lead to Texas.
We get Tesla that goes to Texas. Now we got KFC. I mean, we got a stock exchange opening in Texas. Everything's going to Texas. So, KFC headquarters.
Pull up a map and look. What?
So KFC is a holding of Yum Brands, and the last time I looked at Yum Brands, they have Taco Bell and Pizza Hut. I don't know what they probably have some other restaurants in there too. But anyways, their original headquarters are current headquarters are in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, when I scrolled through this article, it said 100 people would need to relocate. So we're not talking a massive exodus like probably like Tesla, but and they're trying to, they've got headquarters out in Irvine, California. Oh, I see. Pizza Hut is in Plano, Texas, and I'm just skimming this. Plano, Irvine. But so 90 to 100 workers are going to have to move. KFC's moving. I was just kidding about the brand change, name. I don't know that they're going to make themselves TFC, Texas Fried Chicken, or anything like that. I'm sure they will not because the brand. One fascinating thing that I learned about KFC, I want to say it was probably 4 or 5 years ago, is in China, KFC, at least 4 or 5 years ago, was like, it was the best, the cool place that you would take a date. Like, it was prestigious to take your date to KFC. So it's like they were selling, market share, they were selling a lot in China. And now, of course, I'm thinking to myself in my dating years, like, man, if I could get away with taking a date to KFC, wow, maybe China is the place to live. So I don't know. Corey, did you take a date to KFC? Probably not.
If I did, I've blocked it out of my memory. I don't think so.
I'm sure your date did too, as she was like dumped you the next day.
And blocked me out of the contact list too, I'm sure.
Yeah, so that's KFC. Like I said, they don't mention the word fried in here at all, but I mean, it's fried chicken. When I get KFC, and occasionally I do, it is definitely fried chicken. It's all branding. So anyways, with that, Corey's going to take it away and tell us what's doing great in the S&P 500 in 2020.
Mike, I will say, if I just can't resist and I need some fried chicken, I got to go to Cane's. I don't know why.
But see, Cane's is a chicken tender. KFC, You're getting meat on the bone.
Right.
I do prefer, just so you know, and I don't even know if the company's stock sells, Lee's chicken, or sometimes Popeye's chickens, like a little Cajun.
I go Popeyes.
But Lee's chicken is like a 30-minute drive from my house, and I got a couple of friends and a couple boys that, like, sometimes we make the drive of 30 minutes to get Lee's chicken. So shout out to Lee's. Sorry, KFC. KFC is like 2 minutes away from my house. I don't get it quite as much.
Did you ever watch the show Friends? Were you one of those people?
Yeah, I was an adult in the 90s, and I watched it when it came out.
I watched it my mom let me stay up late to watch it, so it was like a big deal. But I'll never forget Joey sitting there eating that big bucket of chicken, but he was just eating the skins. Do you remember that?
Oh.
Do you remember that episode?
I don't. But you gave me flashbacks to the Atkins diet. So if anyone's tried,
they rip off the skins.
Well, so when I lived in Michigan, a bunch of us tried the Atkins diet, and there was a KFC buffet next to our work, and we would go for lunch on the Atkins diet and just eat chicken, like chicken breast, like 3 or 4 chicken breasts for lunch. I don't know how you lose weight on the diet, but you do. That can't be healthy.
Was that sustainable?
You craved like a pretzel because you just wanted carbs so bad. No, for me, it was not sustainable. I could stay on it for a few weeks, but I did give KFC a lot of business back then.
That's so funny, man. All right, well, not in the business of chicken, and I did just want to hit on this. We talked about that amazing win streak from Meta. It was 21 days.
It finally
ended. You had today and yesterday. What's going on? I do want to hit on one thing. So imagine Meta is like a good football team. Maybe the Ohio State Buckeyes. And
great team.
As they're winning these games, they win 1 game, 2 game. They're on a win streak. They're going to pick up some fans along the way. Like, wow, I like that team. But as soon as something goes wrong, some of those newly acquired fans are going to be what we call fair weather fans, and they don't stick around through the hard times. So they're going to be first ones, last ones in the door, first ones out of the door. So, you look at a Meta, it was doing fine. But from February 3rd to February 14th, it was grinding higher every day. And they'll say stocks take the stairs up and the elevator down. Now, is anything wrong with Meta today or yesterday? Not at all. But that's just, it's one of those psychological things in the market you have to be prepared for. Things are going to grind higher about 75% of the time if they're quality. And that 25% of the time where things are going lower, it's like taking the elevator. It feels fast, or it can feel fast. So anyway, looking at the S&P year to date, 4% as of right now. But I wanted to look at year to date, just around the market. So these are year to date returns. Oh no, hold on. Give me just a second. Year to date returns around the market. Who are our winners right now? First place, Palantir, 62% return. Second place, CVS, 47%. And then we've got, a little fallout. We've got another 40%, Constellation Energy. They fell off really, really hard from the DeepSeek news. It's an energy company, and if DeepSeek was going to make everything highly efficient, maybe energy wouldn't be as in demand as previously thought. Well, that's all been unwound, and it's back to new all-time highs. And then we've got quite a few, in that 20%. Mike, do you see any that surprise you, up or down?
I mean, you see Costco and Walmart both up about 15%.
That's a big move. You're right.
I mean, I like to see that kind of thing because that just means that the consumer's doing well. I mean, because Walmart would be up based on the consumer. Starbucks, 23%. If you see some of that, I guess I don't want to say it surprises me about Palantir, but just, Palantir was in our ego stocks last year, and we moved it to our core portfolio this year. And mainly because I'm not sure they could continue to grow as fast as they grew last year, stock-wise. So to see them continuing on, because they were the best performer, I believe, in the S&P 500 last year, to continue, it's almost like if you're the best, and then you can come into the next year and be the best again. Wow, that's really incredible. CVS is more of a rebound story, where CVS, I imagine, got crushed last year. So for them to be the second best this year is not surprising. And there's activists and talking about splitting that up some. So
I'll give a shout out to the financials. They had a great year last year, and man, just really off to the races in 2025 as well. And then just kind of in the Mag 7 sphere, Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, Google, all flat so far. But then you do have that shining star Meta, and just interesting that there is some separation among the group right now. Anyway, just a quick look. That's all from me.
I'll just say that's one of the reasons why you want to have a diversified portfolio. So, I mean, you can't count on picking Palantir every year. So, you have that diversified portfolio so that you get exposure to all of them. So as it goes up, you all go up. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and have a good one. Bye.